I think we may have just gotten the biggest clue about Elder Scrolls 6 that we've had in a very, very long time, because after 8 years of basically staring at the same mountains from the original teaser and trying to figure out where Bethesda's taking us, well, fans think they've figured out the actual name of the game. Welcome to the channel, everybody. Jimmy or Chaos. And if they're right, the name isn't just some cool Elder Scrolls subtitle. This could potentially tell us exactly where we're going. And the theory right now is that Elder Scrolls 6 is actually the Elder Scrolls 6 Sentinel game. And once you start digging into what Sentinel actually is, where it's located, some of the other clues that have been sitting around for years, this gets pretty interesting. It does. I mean, it's more than just counting asterisks on a tweet, because if Sentinel really is the title, I think the Hammerfell debate is over. I do. Now, there's another part of this that could potentially bring High Rock into the game as well. Welcome to the channel, everybody. I read every single comment on every single video, and today we're going over what just dropped. I mean, this is where it all started. August 11th, Xbox CEO Miss Sharma herself talking about seeing the Elder Scrolls 6 running at Bethesda. That's a big deal, right? I mean, remember, Bethesda announced this game in June of 2018. 8 years later, we don't even have a proper gameplay reveal. We don't even have the title. We've basically been living off Todd Howard interviews, development updates, and rumors in the original teaser. Sharma, though, said she's seen a live demo and praised the game scale, the grandeur, the story, all of that. But people immediately noticed something else. When she referenced the game's title, the subtitle was hidden behind 8 asterisks, 8 characters. That sent the entire community, of course, the internet, into detective mode, because there happens to be a very important 8-letter word that fits right in there with years of speculation perfectly. And the word is Sentinel. And here's what I want everybody to understand why that word matters. Sentinel isn't a random village Bethesda could pick because the name sounds cool. Sentinel is one of the most important places in Hammerfell, the homeland of the Redguards. This is a major kingdom and port city on Hammerfell's northwestern coast with an enormous amount of history behind it. So if Bethesda actually calls this game Elder Scrolls 6 Sentinel, it's kind of hard to imagine Hammerfell not being central to the game. I mean, we've been debating Hammerfell versus High Rock ever since that teaser came out in 2018, and looking at the coastlines, the mountain, the architecture, every Bethesda social media post, I mean, individual rocks at this point. We've tried to find anything. But putting the word Sentinel in the box could be about as subtle as calling Skyrim something directly tied to one of the Skyrim major locations. The title itself would be pointing us towards Hammerfell, but here's where the theory gets interesting. And you say, hold on a second. Somebody went back to Starfield and found something. If intentional, it's ridiculous. During character creation in Starfield, there's an employee number. I'm going to read that number, 19051420091405512. Okay, it's a number. Fans separated that into pairs. Why? I don't know. The internet's smarter than me. 19, 05, 14, 20, 09, 14, 05, and 12. Then they converted those numbers into letters of the alphabet. So 19 is S, 5 is E, 14 is N, 20 is T. You see where I'm going here? 9 is I, 14 is N, 5 is E, 12 is L. That spells Sentinel. That's wild. That is not by coincidence. It can't be. Maybe it could be. No, it can't be. I want to be very clear about this. We're entering theory territory. Nobody at Bethesda has walked out and said, congratulations, Reddit, you solved it. I mean, but if that number was deliberately planted there, Bethesda potentially put the name of Elder Scrolls 6 inside Starfield 3 years ago. And we all walked right past it. Why would we not walk right past it? Gaming Bible highlighted that discovery today, and given that Bethesda loves putting Elder Scrolls references into its other games, it's at least plausible enough that I can't completely dismiss it. And if they are connected in timelines, that's pretty wild too. Anyway, then we get to the piece that made me pay even more attention. Former Elder Scrolls writer Michael Kirkbride, one of the people whose work helped shape a massive amount of the Elder Scrolls lore, saw the Sentinel speculation online. And he responded positively to it. That's not Bethesda confirming it, but, I mean, that's something. Kirkbride's not sitting inside Bethesda right now deciding what goes on the box, but that's something. I mean, when somebody with that kind of history with this universe seems fans connecting dots and essentially says, yep, I'm listening, I mean, that's something. Insider Gamer specifically pointed to his reaction as one reason the Sentinel theory has picked up so much momentum. Now, here's where it gets even bigger. Because let's assume for a minute that Sentinel is real. Does that mean the Elder Scrolls 6 is exclusively Hammerfell? I don't think so. I'm not convinced of it. In fact, I think Sentinel can make the idea of a Hammerfell and High Rock game even more interesting. We know this game's going to be massive. Look at where Sentinel sits geographically. We're talking about northwestern Hammerfell, right across The Bay, right? Right across the region of High Rock. And that entire area is incredibly important to Elder Scrolls history. If Bethesda wants to make the Elder Scrolls 6 substantially larger and more geographically varied than Skyrim, which they're going to, the Bay gives them a natural way to connect these two. It does. On one side, you've got Hammerfell, you got the Red Guards. On the other, you've got High Rock, you've got the Bretons. Between them, you've got the Bay. You've got islands, ports, and the potential for an entire maritime component of the game, which we've talked about in the past. Now, this isn't a theory that suddenly appeared yesterday because somebody figured out the word Sentinel. Reports and rumors about the Elder Scrolls 6 featuring both Hammerfell and High Rock. We've talked about this for years. There was even reports last year claiming the game could include both provinces, multiple major cities, naval elements, all of that. None of it's officially confirmed by Bethesda. So I'm not going to turn those rumors into facts, but geographically, Sentinel would make a two-region game. It would make a lot of sense. I mean, think about what that would allow Bethesda to do here. Skyrim gave us basically one enormous cultural identity, right? Different holds felt different, and you had different environments, but the entire game was Skyrim. If the Elder Scrolls 6 stretches from Hammerfell into High Rock, suddenly you have these two major cultures clashing, sharing one massive world. Red Guards, the Bretons, desert environments against greener medieval landscapes. You've got coastal cities, mountain regions, you've got all of it, and the potential for naval exploration, connecting both of them. If Bethesda is chasing the scale and grandeur, which I think they are, that's what Sharma was talking about. This is where I'm going to speculate just a little further for you. What if Sentinel isn't the entire setting? What if it's the anchor? Think about it. The Elder Scrolls Oblivion. The title doesn't simply give it away. It tells you what the story revolves around. Skyrim went the opposite direction. Name the province itself. Bethesda could do something similar here where Sentinel is the city or kingdom at the heart of whatever political conflict drives the story, while the actual playable map stretches much farther than Sentinel itself. I mean, it would be an interesting place to build around, right? The location, you're sitting near one of the most strategically interesting parts of Western Tamriel. I mean, it's something happens here, succession, war, invasion, all of it. Here's Hammerfell, go explore it. And I like this idea. The Elder Scrolls has already done the Bay before. I mean, Daggerfell was built around High Rock and Hammerfell and the kingdom surrounding the Bay. So imagine Bethesda going back to that part, right? 3 decades later with modern technology. Basically reimagining the scale of Daggerfell through the design philosophy of Skyrim. I mean, it's wild. For years, every Elder Scrolls 6 story has been, yes, they're making it. No, we can't see it. Todd Howard said in 2025, it remained a long way off. Blah, 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 blah. Now we're getting something. I mean, 8 asterisks. We're getting something. I'm starting to get excited. Hiding the subtitle immediately invites us to try to solve it. Bethesda knows the community and they know how they operate. Xbox knows how it operates. You put 8 blank characters after the Elder Scrolls 6 and the Elder Scrolls fans are going to go nuts with it. I mean, they're going to have a conspiracy board built before lunch. So what do you guys think? The connection with Starfield's Easter egg. Sentinel, do you think this is the name? Do you think there's more to it? And if this is just Hammerfell, I'd be okay with that. But do you think it's more than that? Do you think it's Hammerfell, the Bay, and High Rock? I mean, I really personally do. I do. Well, why not, right? You know this is going to be big. I mean, I don't know. Let me know what you guys think. I'll keep you posted if anything new breaks, but we are starting to get somewhere. Teaser trailer inbound, right?